IXL section U2, solve a system of equations by graphing. In this IXL, in every question, you're going to have two equations. What you're going to have to do is graph both equations. When you graph them, that's going to give you two lines. And the solution of the system of equations is the point where the two lines intersect. I'll say it again. You're going to have to graph both of these equations. That's going to give you two lines that intersect at one point. The point that the two lines intersect in, that is the solution of your system of equations. So you have to graph each line and then write down here what is the point where the two lines intersect, which is the solution of the equation. All right, let me show you how to do it. All right. And I actually really like this IXL because it's practicing a lot of stuff that is super important for Algebra 1. All right, so let's start with the first equation. As you should be able to see, it's already in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form looks like this. Everybody should know it by now, but just in case anybody forgot, let me just write this. And on the top, I'll write slope-intercept form. All right, so when it's in slope-intercept form, remember that the number in front of x is the slope, and the number that's back here by itself is the y-intercept. And in order to be in slope-intercept form, the y has to be by itself on one side of the equation. Before I continue to do these, let me just repeat what I just said in Spanish. En este IXL, tienen que hacer el gráfico de estas dos ecuaciones. Cuando hacen el gráfico de esas dos ecuaciones, van a tener dos líneas. Donde esas dos líneas intersectan es la solución de este sistema de ecuaciones. Otra vez, el punto donde esas dos líneas intersectan es la solución de este sistema de ecuaciones. Los coordinados de ese punto se tienen que escribir aquí abajo. Para hacer el gráfico de las ecuaciones, primero tienen que poner las ecuaciones en slope-intercept form, que ya todo el mundo debe saber. Para estar en slope-intercept form, la ecuación tiene que tener y sola en un lado de la ecuación. Y el número que está al frente de x es el slope. Y el número que está solo aquí atrás es el y-intercept. Ok, así que vamos a mirar a estas dos ecuaciones. Okay, so in the first equation, let's start with the y-intercept, all right? Once you have it in slope-intercept form, the first thing you should do is put a dot at the y-intercept, which is at +4 right here. All right? A la vez que lo tienen en slope-intercept form, que ya esta ecuación está en esa forma, lo primero que deben hacer es poner un punto en el y-intercept, que en este caso es el número 4. Okay, now look at the slope. There's no number in front of x, so that means that the slope is +1. The slope is +1. And if I write +1 as a fraction, it's 1/1. Okay, now if the slope is positive, that means the line is going to go up from left to right. And the rise is 1 and the run is 1. Because remember, the slope is the rise over the run. So if the rise is 1 and the run is 1, I go up 1 and to the right 1. Up 1 and to the right 1. Up 1 and to the right 1. Or if I want to go this way, I would go down 1 and to the left 1. Down 1 and to the left 1, etc. Okay? On IXL, once you put 2 points, IXL will create the line for you. So you just got to put 2 points. So there's my line. Okay, there's my... oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I should have done this in blue so that it'll match this color. But when you press on this button, it'll do the line in blue, and that means that that line corresponds to this equation. And then when you click on this button, it'll do the line in yellow, and that means that this line corresponds to this equation. Let me try to do it in the same color. Debía haber hecho esta línea en azul. Cuando aprietan este botón, te hace la línea en azul y eso quiere decir que esa línea corresponde a esta ecuación, y cuando aprietan este botón, le hace la línea en amarillo y eso quiere decir que esta línea corresponde a esta ecuación. All right, so for this line, let me see if it's visible. No, yellow is not visible. I can't use it. Let me see if there's orange maybe. Nope. All right, so let me just use black. All right, because yellow is not visible. All right, so now I'm looking at the second equation over here, okay? Ahora voy a mirar la segunda ecuación. Y equals negative x minus 4. So again, first step is put a dot at the y-intercept, okay? El primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y, que es negativo 4 aquí. Okay, now next step is let's look at the slope, right? So the slope in this case is negative 1. And if I change it to a fraction, I just put a 1 on the bottom so that I could have the rise and the run, okay? El slope es negativo 1 y lo voy a escribir como una fracción para poder ver el rise y el run, la distancia vertical arriba y la distancia horizontal abajo. All right, so first of all, the slope is negative. That means the line is going down from left to right, like this. Okay? El slope es negativo. Eso quiere decir que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha de esta forma. Okay? Y es negativo 1 sobre 1 si lo escribo en forma de fracción. Así que la distancia entre los puntos sería verticalmente 1 y horizontalmente 1 también. So I would go down 1 and to the right 1. Down 1 and to the right 1. Or up 1 and to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. Look, right there is where they're going to intersect. All right, so let me just make sure of something. Yeah. So for this one, the solution is negative 4, 0. Okay, that's the solution for this system of equations. That means that if you substitute negative 4 for x and 0 for y in both of these equations, it makes both equations true. All right, you're going to have to do this for every problem. It'll take approximately 20, if I remember correctly, about 20 questions to get to 100. Okay, así que la solución para este sistema de ecuación es negativo 4,0. La solución es donde las dos líneas intersectan. Y esto también quiere decir que si uno sustituye negativo 4 para x y 0 para y en el sistema de ecuaciones, esos números hacen las dos ecuaciones verdaderos. Si sustituyo negativo 4 para x y 0 para y. Tienen que hacer el mismo proceso para cada pregunta. Necesitan aproximadamente 20 preguntas correctas para llegar a 100. All right, let's look at the next example. I'll try to go quicker. All right, so the top one, let me use red. Or no, let me use blue. Okay, so the top one, the y-intercept is positive 4. All right, now I'm going to show you how to do it fast, okay? The top one, the y-intercept is positive 4. The slope is negative 3. That means it's going down from left to right, and the rise is 3, and the run is 1. 3 over 1. So down 3 and to the right 1. Again, once you put 2 points, the IXL will do the rest for you. So all you need to do is put 2 points. Let me look at the yellow one a second. I'll do the yellow one in red because it's easy to see the color red. All right, so, and by the way, let me just say that real quick in Spanish. La ecuación de arriba, lo primero que hice es poner el punto en el y-intercept, que es positivo 4. El slope es negativo 3. Así que como es negativo, eso quiere decir que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha. Y la distancia vertical es 3 y horizontal es 1. 3 y 1, 3 y 1, 3 y 1. A la vez que ponen 2 puntos en IXL, el IXL te hace la línea completa. Voy a hacer la próxima ecuación en rojo. All right, so the next one, the y-intercept is negative 1. El intercept de y es negativo 1. And the slope is positive 2 over 1. Positive 2 over 1. El slope es positivo 2 sobre 1. It's positive, so it's going up from left to right. So I go up 2 and to the right 1. Boom. There's going to be the solution of my system of equations right there. All right, so here's my line in red. And my blue line is like this. And again, where they intersect, that's the solution. Donde intersectan, esa es la solución. So in this case, the answer is 1, 1 for this one. 1, 1. All right, next example. Okay, so for the top equation, the y-intercept is negative 2. And the slope is negative 2 over 1. So that means I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 1, down 2 and to the right 1. Or I could also go up 2 and to the left 1, up 2 and to the left 1, etc. Okay? And in blue, I'll do the other one. The y-intercept is positive 2. And the slope is negative 1 over 1. El slope es negativo 1 sobre 1. So I go, so I go down 1 into the right 1, down 1 into the right 1. But as you can see, where they're going to intersect is to the left. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the left 1, up 1 into the left 1, up 1 into the left 1, up 1 into the left 1. All right, let me continue the red one to see where they intersect. So in red, obviously, if I was on IXL, I could do this quicker because IXL will tell you where they intersect right away. All right, so again, for this one, it's negative 2 over 1. So I would go up 2 and to the right 1. I'm sorry, up 2 and to the left 1, up 2 and to the left 1. Right there is where they intersect. Okay, so there's my solution. Okay, so where they intersect, once again, is right here. At negative 4, positive 6. Ok, donde intersectan las dos líneas es el punto negativo 4, positivo 6. Así que esa es la solución a este sistema de ecuaciones. All right, now let's look at this one. All right, this one looks slightly different. The top equation, all right, remember slope-intercept form is like this. The top equation says y equals 3x. Is that in slope-intercept form? The answer is yes. It is in slope-intercept form because the y-intercept is 0. That's why it's not written. Okay, but it is in slope-intercept form. Okay, la ecuación de arriba sí está escrita en la forma slope-intercept. Pero no hay ningún número atrás porque el y-intercept es el número 0. Así que voy a hacer el mismo proceso y empezar con un punto en el y-intercept, que en este caso es el número 0. Okay, now the slope is positive 3 over 1. So it's going to be going up from left to right, 3 up and 1 to the right. 3 up and 1 to the right. 3 up, 1 to the right. And if I go this way, 3 down, 1 to the left, 3 down, 1 to the left, 3 down, 1 to the left, okay? Así que slope positivo 3 sobre 1. Okay, now in green, let me look at the green equation. All right, so the y-intercept is positive 5. So my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept. And the slope is negative 2 over 1. So I go down 2 and to the right 1. Right there is where they intersect. So I could stop right there. Okay, aquí es donde intersectan. Okay, así que ahí es mi solución. So positive 1, positive 3 is the solution to this system of equation. Again, the point where the two lines intersect is the solution to the system of equations. All right, so next one. All right, so on the top equation, the blue one, The y-intercept is positive 4. So that's my first step, to put a dot at the y-intercept. And there's no number in front of x. That means that the slope is positive 1 over 1. All right, so I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 1, up 1 and to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. And if I want to go this way, down 1 to the left 1, down 1 to the left 1. Okay, now let me check the other one. And I'll say the process in Spanish for this one. Ok, para este el y-intercept es negativo 3, así que mi primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y, y el slope es negativo 6 sobre 1, así que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha. Verticalmente la distancia es 6 y para la derecha 1, o si voy para la izquierda sería para arriba 6 y para la izquierda 1, y aquí es donde las dos líneas van a intersectar, en este punto aquí. Alright, so my solution to this system of equations is -1, +3. Okay, now look, here's an interesting one. We had an entire IXL that I assigned a couple weeks ago, right before Christmas vacation, on how to graph horizontal and vertical lines. If you forgot, I'll remind you right now. All right. All right. So for x equals -2, the little technique I said to help you remember which is that whatever letter is here, the line is going to be the opposite of the axis that has that same letter. So for example, x equals -2. The axis that has the letter x is the horizontal axis. So the graph of x equals a number is going to be the opposite of horizontal. It's going to be a vertical line at -2. All right, so it's going to be a vertical line at -2. So there's -2. So the graph of x equals -2 is like this. And wherever I put a point on that line, the x coordinate is always -2. No matter where I put a point on this line, the x coordinate is always -2. And then the graph of y equals -4, I use the same technique. Okay, the graph of y equals a number will always be the opposite of the y-axis. The y-axis is a vertical line, so therefore the graph of y equals -4 will be a horizontal line at -4. So right here. So that means that the solution to this system of equation is where the two lines intersect, like always, which is going to be right here at -2, -4. If I didn't have to graph it, I could just write that as my answer. I just realized that right now. If I didn't have to do the graph, I could just write as my answer -2 for x, comma, -4 for y. But because IXL also wants you to graph it, you do got to do the graph, okay? Let me just repeat that in Spanish. en español, antes de las vacaciones de Navidades, les di un IXL sobre esto, sobre cómo hacer los gráficos de ecuaciones que solamente dice x igual a un número o y igual a un número. Eso van a ser líneas horizontales y verticales. La manera que le dije que se pueden recordar de cuál es cuál es, por ejemplo, el de x igual a -2, siempre va a ser, la línea siempre va a ser lo opuesto del axis que tiene esa misma letra. Así que x igual a -2, el axis que tiene la letra x es el axis horizontal. Así que la ecuación de x igual a -2 es lo opuesto de una línea horizontal, que sería una línea vertical, donde x es igual a -2. Donde quiera que yo ponga un punto en esa línea vertical, el coordenado de x se mantiene -2. Y para y igual a -4, ok, el axis que tiene la letra y es el axis vertical. Así que el gráfico de esta ecuación es lo opuesto de una línea vertical, que sería una línea horizontal, donde y es igual a negativo 4. Donde quiera que yo ponga un punto en esta línea, el coordinado de y sigue siendo negativo 4. Así que la solución de este sistema de ecuaciones es donde las dos líneas intersectan, que es en el punto negativo 2, negativo 4. Si no tuviera que hacer el gráfico y solamente me preguntan para los coordinados, pudiera haber puesto estos dos números simplemente para x negativo 2 y y negativo 4, pero como necesito hacer el gráfico también para este IXL, no puedo hacer eso. All right, next example. Okay, now here there's another twist, which is for the top equation, you first got to put it in slope-intercept form, which for this one it's easy, but still it's one more step that we got to do. Ok, aquí necesitamos primero poner la ecuación de arriba en slope-intercept form, porque no está en slope-intercept form. So I gotta have y by itself, so just move x to the right by subtracting it. And you're gonna have y equals negative x plus 4. Now it's in slope-intercept form. Ahora lo tengo en la forma slope-intercept. So my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is positive 4. And then I'm going to use the slope, which is negative 1 over 1. All right, so the line is going down, and I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, or up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. All right, so let me explain this one over here. So y equals x minus 4. I'm going to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is negative 4. And my slope is positive 1 over 1, so go up 1 and to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, and right there is where they intersect. Alright, so my solution is going to be positive 4 comma 0. Top I have x plus 3y equals negative 6. To put it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to first move the x to the right, which will give me 3y equals negative x minus 6. And now I'm going to divide by 3. So that'll give me negative 1 over 3x minus 6 over 3, which gives me y equals negative 1 over 3x minus 2. All right. Remember, right here, there's an invisible 1. So when you move the 3 and put it beneath on the bottom here, there's a 1 on the top. All right, when you move the 3 to divide, there's a negative 1 on the top. Okay, aquí estoy moviendo los términos para poner la ecuación en la forma slope-intercept. Recuerden que hay un 1 invisible aquí, así que cuando se mueve el 3 se pone debajo del negativo 1 y eso me enseña que el slope es negativo 1 sobre 3. All right, so my first step is to put a point at the y-intercept, which is negative 2. And the slope is negative 1 over 3. The line is going down, so down 1 and to the right 3. Up 1 and to the left 3. Up 1 and to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, now let's do the green one. Excuse me. All right, so the green one. All right, the y-intercept is negative 3. And the slope is negative 1 over 6. So I go down 1 and to the right 6. And right there is where they intersect. And up 1 and to the left 6. Alright, but where they intersect is right here. Okay, aquí es donde intersectan. So my solution to this system of equation is positive 6 for x and negative 4 for y. Okay, aquí está la solución para este sistema de ecuaciones. And again, this also means that when I substitute for x the number 6 and for y the number negative 4 in both equations, it makes both equations true. That's why that's the solution for this system of equations. That x and y coordinate makes both equations true. Okay. We're about halfway through the lesson. Okay, so on the top here, I got x plus y equals negative 1. I need to put that in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to move the x to the right by subtracting from both sides. So that's going to give me y equals negative x minus 1. All right, so that means that the y-intercept is negative 1, and the slope is negative 1 over 1. So the line is going down, and the rise is 1, and the run is 1. Down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. And if I go this way, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. So there's my blue line. I can continue, obviously, but let me just stop and let's do the other one in red. All right, so right here, the other one says x plus 2y equals negative 6. I got to get it in slope-intercept form. So first, let me move x to the right by subtracting from both sides. That's going to give me 2y equals negative x minus 6. And now I'm going to move the 2 and divide everything on the right by 2. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here, so now I'm going to have negative 1 over 2 x minus 6 over 2. And when I simplify that, I'm going to have y equals negative 1 over 2. Sorry, my graphics tablet is messing up over here. Negative 6 over 2 gives you negative 3. All right, so my y-intercept is at negative 3. And my slope is negative 1 over 2. So the line is going down. I go down 1 and to the right 2. And it should be over here. Down 1 and to the right 2. Yeah, that right there is where they're going to meet. Down 1 and to the right 2. All right, I just didn't put a blue dot there, but let me do that now. All right, so where the two lines intersect is at positive 4, negative 5. Donde las dos líneas intersectan es positivo 4, negativo 5. Okay. We got about believe 9 more problems to go. All right, so the top equation says x plus y equals negative 2. I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form by moving the x to the right by subtracting both sides by x, which is going to give me y equals negative x minus 2. All right, so my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is negative 2. And the slope is negative 1 over 1. So my line is going down. The rise is 1 and the run is 1. The rise is 1 and the run is 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Or if you go this way, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. Let me stop there. If I need more dots, I'll do it later. Okay, now let's check out the other one. All right, so y equals 4. We just went over that a few slides ago, a few problems ago. So y equals 4. Okay, that line is a horizontal line. Okay, it's the opposite of the y-axis. The y-axis is a vertical line, so y equals 4 is a horizontal line where y equals 4, which is right here. And the line is going to intersect with the green line somewhere over here. So let me continue my green line to see exactly where it intersects. It's going to be... All right, so they're going to intersect right here. At negative 6, positive 4. All right, negative 6, positive 4 is where the two lines intersect. So that's the solution to that system of equations. All right, so on this one, on the top I got x plus y equals negative 3. I want to get it in slope-intercept form, which means I need y by itself. So my first step is to move x to the right. So I'm going to have y equals negative x minus 3. All right, so my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is at negative 3. And the slope is negative 1 over 1. So the line is going down. The rise is 1 and the run is 1. So I go down 1 and to the right 1. Down 1 and to the right 1. Or up 1 and to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. Okay, now let me do the other one. Okay, for the other one, same thing. It's in standard form, and I need to have it in slope-intercept form. So first I'm going to move the x to the right by subtracting both sides by x. And that's going to give me negative 2y equals negative x minus 6. All right, now I'm going to move the negative 2 to the other side and divide everything on the other side by negative 2. Okay, that'll give me negative 1. This is not the proper way to write it, but just so that everybody could see what's happening, I'm going to write the two negatives there. And negative 6 over negative 2. When I simplify both of these, they're going to become positive. So y equals 1/2, positive 1/2 x. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. All right. So again, my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is positive 3. And my slope is positive 1 over 2. So the line is going to go up from left to right, up 1 and to the right 2. But if I go to the left where they're going to meet, I'm going to go down 1 and to the left 2, down 1 and to the left 2, right there, down 1 and to the left 2. All right, so there, I have my answer. It's right there. It's at negative 4, positive 1, negative 4, and positive 1. All right. I'm going to do the next one in Spanish since I've done a couple only in English. Okay, este ejemplo lo voy a hacer en español. Actually, before I say it in Spanish, just if you're looking at this one, on the bottom, y equals negative x, that is in slope-intercept form. Okay, the y-intercept is the invisible 0 back here. The y-intercept is 0, but it's not written there. And the slope is negative 1. Let me continue explaining it in Spanish. Ok, déjame explicar este en español. Primero que nada, voy a hacer la ecuación de arriba. Lo tengo que poner en slope-intercept form. Así que tengo que coger la y sola. Primero voy a mover x para la derecha, restando x de los dos lados de la ecuación. Así que voy a tener 2y igual a negativo x menos 4. Y ahora voy a mover el 2 y dividir todo lo que está en la derecha por 2. Así que y es igual a... Aquí hay un 1 invisible. Así que negativo 1 sobre 2x menos 4 sobre 2. Cuando lo simplifico me da y igual a negativo 1 sobre 2x y negativo 4 dividido por 2 me da negativo 2. Así que mi primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y que es negativo 2 y el slope negativo 1 sobre 2. El negativo me dice que la línea tiene que estar yendo para abajo de izquierda a derecha. Y la distancia vertical, el rise, es el número 1 y la distancia horizontal es 2. Así que si va para abajo, tengo que ir verticalmente 1 y 2 para la derecha. 1 para abajo y 2 para la derecha. 1 para abajo y 2 para la derecha. Si quiero ir en esta dirección, hago lo opuesto. 1 para arriba y 2 a la izquierda. 1 para arriba y 2 a la izquierda, etc. Ok, ahora déjame hacer la otra ecuación. Ok, so la otra dice y igual a negativo x. Eso está en la forma slope-intercept, aunque a lo mejor no se dan cuenta. Recuerden que slope-intercept, la forma slope-intercept luce así. Ok, si la ecuación no tiene nada aquí atrás, eso quiere decir que el y-intercept es 0. Ok, así que el y-intercept es 0. Así que mi primer paso siempre es poner un punto en el y-intercept, que en este caso es 0. Ahora, el slope es negativo. Hay un 1 invisible aquí. Y si escribo negativo 1 en forma de fracción, le pongo un 1 debajo. Ok, así que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha. La distancia vertical entre un punto y el otro sería 1 y horizontal también 1. Así que 1 para abajo y 1 para la derecha. 1 para abajo y 1 para la derecha. 1 para abajo, 1 para la derecha. 1 para abajo, 1 para la derecha. Aquí es donde las dos líneas intersectan. En este punto aquí. Positivo 4 y negativo 4. Y eso es la solución de este sistema de ecuaciones. Eso quiere decir que si yo sustituyo positivo 4 para x y negativo 4 para y en las dos ecuaciones, esos números hacen las dos ecuaciones verdaderas. Okay, on this problem, my first equation is x minus 2y equals 8. So it's in standard form. The first thing I'm going to do is put it in slope-intercept form by moving x to the right and subtracting. That'll give me negative 2y equals negative x plus 8. Now I move negative 2 and divide by negative 2. So I'm going to have, remember there's an invisible 1 here. So I'm going to have negative 1 over negative 2x plus 8 over negative 2, which when I simplify that, I'm going to have y equals positive 1/2 x minus 4. All right, so my y-intercept is negative 4, and my slope is positive 1/2. All right, that means that the line is going up. The rise is 1 and the run is 2. The rise is 1 and the run is 2. Or if I go down, the rise is 1 and the run is 2. The rise is 1 and the run is 2. Okay, for the green one, all right, my equation is y equals negative 5. Okay, so remember, it's going to be the opposite of the y-axis. The y-axis is a vertical line, so y equals negative 5 is a horizontal line where y equals negative 5. So it's going to be right here. Okay, y igual a negativo 5 es lo opuesto del axis de y. El axis de y es una línea vertical, así que y igual a negativo 5 es una línea horizontal donde y es igual a negativo 5. So the answer to this system of equation is right here. This is the point where they intersect, where x equals negative 2 and y equals negative 5. All right, guys, I'm going to do 3 more examples since this video is coming out pretty long. All right, so voy a hacer 3 más ejemplos porque el video me está saliendo demasiado largo. All right, so the first equation says 3x plus 2y equals negative 12. It's in standard form. I'm going to change it to slope-intercept form by moving 3x to the right and subtracting from both sides of the equation, which is going to give me 2y equals negative 3x minus 12. Now I'm going to divide by 2, which will give me y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 12 divided by 2. When I simplify this part in the back, the y-intercept, I'm going to have y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 6. Okay, así que la ecuación estaba en la forma estándar y lo cambié a la forma slope-intercept. So my first step is to put a dot at the y-intercept, which is negative 6. My slope is negative, so the line is going down from left to right. The rise is 3 and the run is 2, so I go down 3 and to the right 2, or up 3 and to the left 2. Up 3 and to the left 2. Up 3 and to the left 2. All right, now let me do the other equation. All right, so the blue equation is x plus 2y equals negative 8. Let me explain this one in Spanish. Okay, esta lo voy a explicar en español. La ecuación está en la forma estándar y lo voy a cambiar para la forma slope-intercept. Así que tengo que coger y sola. Lo primero que voy a mover es la x para la derecha y restar. Eso me va a dar 2y igual a negativo x menos 8. Y ahora voy a dividir por 2. Recuerden que hay un 1 invisible aquí. Así que y es igual a negativo 1 dividido por 2x menos 8 dividido por 2. Cuando simplifico esa ecuación me da y igual a negativo 1 sobre 2x menos 4. Mi primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y, que es negativo 4. Ahora el slope negativo, eso me dice que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha. La distancia vertical es 1 y horizontal es 2. Así que 1 para abajo y 2 para la derecha. O si voy a la izquierda sería 1 para arriba y 2 a la izquierda. Que ya eso me enseña dónde que las dos líneas intersectan en este punto, que sería negativo 2, negativo 3. So the solution to this system of equation is negative 2, negative 3. All right, next example. I'll do the first one in English. All right, so it says 2x minus 3y equals 18. Let me make sure that's not the same one I just did. No, it's not. Okay. All right, so it's in standard form, and I want it in slope-intercept form, so I got to get y by itself. So I'm going to move 2x to the right. That's my first step, which is going to give me negative 3y equals negative 2x plus 18. And now I'm going to move the negative 3 and divide both terms by negative 3, which is going to give me y equals negative 2 divided by negative 3x plus 18 divided by negative 3. I got to simplify that because that's not written correctly. When I simplify that, I'm going to get y equals positive 2 over 3x minus 6. All right, so my first step is to put a point at the y-intercept, which is negative 6. My slope is positive, so the line is going up from left to right, 2 over 3. So I go up 2 and to the right 3, up 2 and to the right 3, or down 2 and to the left 3. All right, let me check the blue equation now, and I'll do that one in Spanish. En español, la ecuación que está en azul, ya esa está en la forma slope-intercept, así que mi primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y, que es positivo 1, y el slope negativo 5 sobre 3. El negativo me dice que la línea va para abajo de izquierda a derecha. La distancia vertical es 5 y horizontal 3. Así que si voy para abajo es 5 para abajo y 3 a la derecha. Y aquí es donde las dos líneas intersectan. En negativo 3, negativo 4. Digo, positivo 3, que diga. Positivo 3 y... Déjame escribir eso más. Positivo 3 y negativo 4. Positive 3, negative 4 is where the two lines intersect. I'll do one more example. This will be the last example. Este es el último ejemplo. So, for the top one, y equals 5 over 2x plus 1. It's already in slope-intercept form. So my y-intercept is positive 1. So my first step is to put a point at the y-intercept, which is positive 1. And my slope is positive 5 over 2. Since my slope is positive, the line is going to go up from left to right. The rise is 5 and the run is 2. Sorry, that came out a little sloppy. And if I go to the left, I got to go down 5 and to the left 2. Okay, now let's check out the red equation, and I'll do that one in Spanish. Or not red, but orange. Okay, para la otra ecuación, dice y igual a 7 sobre 2x menos 1. Así que mi primer paso es poner un punto en el intercept de y, que es negativo 1. El slope es positivo, así que la línea va para arriba de izquierda a derecha. Tengo que subir 7 y ir para la derecha 2, que sería aquí. Así que ya ahí tengo donde las dos líneas intersectan. Ups. Okay, so where the two lines intersect is at positive 2, positive 6. Positivo 2, positivo 6. Alright guys, so that concludes this lesson. The assignment is IXL section U2 and it's due by 6 a.m. the next day you have my class. Remember, you got to get to 100 points. Okay, la tarea es la sección U2 de IXL y recuerden que tienen que llegar hasta 100 puntos y lo están supuestos de entregar o terminar antes de las 6 de la mañana el próximo día que tienen mi clase. Alright guys, that concludes the lesson. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I'll see you guys next class.